I truly believe that if you can fully understand this concept that I'm about to go over in this video, that you will be successful in any walk of life that you choose. And the concept I'm going to be talking about in this video and explaining how you can apply it to your life is positive brainwashing. And I'm going to be honest, I am editing this video right now, so the original clip that I had for the start got deleted. So I wanted to remake the intro, but also keep the original clips that I had. All right, boys, I want to run through some things that you should know before I start talking about positive brainwashing. And first off, understanding what that is. And understand that if you want to achieve success in this life, the current mindset you have right now might not be the mindset that would take you to $1 million a year, just for example. But the goals that you have set for yourself, it might not take you there. And it's not that all these successful entrepreneurs magically had some mindset that they were given during birth. They all positively brainwash themselves into higher frequencies and higher mental states to achieve the success. And that's exactly what you need to do for yourself to achieve new heights, to push yourself past more limits. And I just want to say that it's not your fault that you don't have the mindset for it yet. There's this concept called the pyramid of beliefs. And basically what that is, everything up to this point in your life right now has been built off experiences and observations. Based off those experiences and observations, you've made assumptions based off that. Based off those assumptions, you've made conclusions. Those conclusions form your beliefs. It creates a pyramid, and I'll throw it up on screen so you get a little visual of it. That creates reasoning towards why you have the current mindset you have now and why you should want to change it to that of a higher frequency man and that of someone who can accept and obtain success. Because if you're going to keep it real with yourself, the mindset you have right now, the current thoughts you have right now, maybe going on brain rot TikTok and just scrolling, that current mindset you have right now is not going to take you to the achievements you want in life. Be real with yourself, and I'm trying to help you out in this video. So now that I explained the pyramid of beliefs, next clip is going to dive a little bit more into explanation, and then after that, I have another clip of me actually thoroughly explaining how you can apply this concept to your life. And first, soak in that knowledge and then apply it. Knowledge is not anything without it being applied. So let's get to it.
And the whole pyramid of beliefs, that's not saying that you were raised wrong. That's not saying you don't contain the mindset already. But it is saying you might not have the current beliefs, the current mindset, the current thought process of that man you desire to be. So the only way you can make that mindset come true and live out that mindset, because it starts within, is to positively brainwash yourself. And that's what I mean by that concept. It's not some negative term. You're not getting rid of yourself. You're still being authentic in your own way, but in the way you process things, in the way you problem solve, in the way you hold yourself mentally, positively brainwash yourself towards mindsets of already successful people. Now I kind of want to go over how you can do that in this video. I'm going to go over 4 specific points that's what you need to do to accept success in your life. It's to positively brainwash yourself. So again, I want to point out 4 ways you can go about this, because it's not going to be an overnight process. And get that out of your head if you think it is. It's going to take time.
It's a completely different day. I just watched that clip over again, but I still want to keep that same intro. And I ran into some crazy traffic on that video, so I cut the clip and I was going to pick it back up. I got hungry, so I just stopped, but I still want to continue this video, and it's still somewhat top of mind for me, and I'm going to do best I can to explain out what I'm talking about, which is positive brainwashing. And hopefully in that last clip, I did explain it well enough, especially the little preface with the the pyramid of beliefs. Hopefully I explained that concept well, but I do want to dive into how I personally positively brainwash myself into a higher frequency and being able to actually retain new knowledge and become more of the man I desire to be. Because ultimately that's what each action I take is. I put intention behind every action I do to say, hey, is this action I'm taking right here, right now, a vote towards the man I desire to become? And the only way you can do that is through positive brainwashing. If you talk to the man I was a year ago, just a year ago, it'd be a completely different mindset. I'm at 2 completely different frequencies than when I was last year compared to now, all because I positively brainwashed myself. And if you ask me, how do you start on self-improvement? How do you begin this journey of becoming one's highest self? I would tell you, you have to positively brainwash yourself. So again, I'm gonna break that down in this video and let's get into it. So boys, I wanna break it down as kind of just 4 parts to it and kind of just thought to myself, how can I simplify where I was a year ago to now, to where I have much more intelligence and ultimately further down this journey of self-development and just to further develop man to be generalized. So what I would tell myself back then is to first look at my environment that I was around. So I was in a college environment where I was constantly partying and drinking on the weekends, and I was going out. I went to classes. I kind of just threw myself in there. My schedule was shaky. I kind of went with the flow with everything. That environment wasn't there for me to succeed. The people that I surrounded myself with weren't going to benefit me towards my future. And you have to be selfish. And I like to phrase it as be selfish in the moment in the next 5 to 10 years so you can be selfless for the rest of your life. And that's truly what I believe I'm doing. So I looked at my environment. I saw the friends that I surrounded myself with who were always drinking, who were always worried about the girls at the parties, worried about the drama going on. And I said, is this what I want for my life? Is this going to benefit? How is this going to help me be a successful entrepreneur? Because I ultimately wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I looked at my environment and I said, I can't be here anymore. So I moved out of my college freshman dorm halfway through the second semester. So I lasted about 7-8 months. Still went through it, still got the experience, but I hit my breaking point, and I ultimately came to the conclusion that that environment wouldn't be beneficial towards my success. Also, not just external factors, but what you surround yourself with internally. So I'm talking about scrolling on your phone, going on social media. That's the internal environment you surround yourself with. My room, for example, that's the internal environment. After I graduated high school, up to that point, I have never read a book in my life besides the picture books that we read in kindergarten. And since in the past year, I've finished, I don't know how many books that is, but I'll say a little bit over 15 to 20 books in that time span. And that's all because I wanted to take in as much information as possible. Factors like that, surrounding myself with information that propels me forward towards the man I want to be. Books are just so perfect because they take all of the experience, all of the advice, insights of these highly successful men, put it into a book for you to retain. It's great. So I very much suggest get into reading it if you not already are. Yeah, that's my first spiel, I would say, is just going into your environment and just asking yourself true and hard questions. Is this environment going to benefit me? So the second thing, and this is really when you're going to get into positive brainwashing, and that's surrounding yourself with success. So like I was mentioning, how you change your environment, you start putting successful habits into your environment. So for example, that's the books that I surround myself with. That's the people that I surround myself with. I cut my old friends off who are always drinking and partying and doing drugs. And I surrounded myself with like-minded people who are on the same journey as me. I started waking up at 5 a.m. consistently that second semester of my college freshman year because I had friends who would do that with me. They were supporting me. They were pushing me to go to the gym at 5, even when I didn't feel like it, even when I wanted to sleep in, even when my whole dorm building was asleep. And even on the weekends when there's some parties going on, surrounding yourself with people who have the same goals as you, who have the same vision as you. And I'm talking a lot about friends here because you are the sum of the 5 closest people you surround yourself with. So that's why I'm really talking about friends here. But just take that as a kind of general example and apply it to anything in your life. And also your phone. I don't think you realize how much your phone plays influence on you, especially if you're scrolling on it for 5+ hours in a day. It plays a lot of influence on who you become and how you think. So if you're constantly scrolling on TikTok, on the brain rot TikTok, I went through a period on this journey where I was off social media for 8+ months, and that time was great. It was such a quiet time and I loved it. But ever since getting back on social media only to post content, I noticed how much of brain rot content is on TikTok, and it just hurts my head being on it because sometimes when I'm posting a video, If you haven't checked out my TikTok, I kind of just post I post similar content like I do on Instagram, but that's just to hit more audience. And I noticed for the seconds that I'm going on the For You page, it's just the most stupid content. So surrounding yourself with that kind of content. And I know I used to be addicted to TikTok. I used to scroll myself to sleep. And I remember it'd be like 3 a.m. each night. I would scroll until I just fall asleep. And sometimes I would wake up and my phone is still up on TikTok. And I know how stupid that content can be. And I'm telling you right now, you can't positively brainwash yourself if you're surrounding yourself with that kind of content. Like, it's just not gonna benefit you. And you're choosing cheap dopamine in the moment instead of delaying your gratification and actually working towards a reward that is rewarding besides scrolling on your phone. Like, you're watching other people's success. If that's kind of the For You page you have, or if you have a stupid For You page where it's just dumb shit, you're not doing anything for yourself. You're just dragging yourself further down. And I call that self-sabotaging. So, a little rant about surrounding yourself with that kind of environment. But my next point, number 3, is going into a state of action. I think it is absolutely disrespectful to expect a reward, to expect some sort of accomplishment if you're in a state of inaction. So understand the difference between motion and action. Motion is you planning to do the work. Motion is saying, right now, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. the next day and go to the gym. That's me planning out my day. And action is actually doing it. So you want to remain in a state of action. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to start cutting off my friends, obviously it's not something you can do the next day, but over time, once you start to change your mind, and the mind has such a big influence, if you are able to positively brainwash yourself and also sink your desires so deep into your subconscious mind to where you have something called auto-suggestion, where your subconscious mind is making automatic decisions based on your desires. So for example, if you desire to be a $10,000 a month business owner, you truly desire that, that's all you think about, that's all you do, actions you take are gonna start to align with that kind of identity, all because you place that in your subconscious mind. So it starts internally. It starts with you thinking that first. The only way you can do that is being in a state of action. The only way you can do that is actually following through with yourself and building a self-trust relationship with yourself. Telling yourself, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and actually going through with it and doing it. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing. The world does not owe you fucking nothing. You don't deserve anything in this world. You have to go out and actually get it. You can't expect to get anything when you haven't sacrificed something of yourself first in terms of effort to get that reward. So that's why I'm saying it's absolutely fucking disgusting to expect a reward if you're in a state of inaction. So start building up your habit of how you do anything is how you do everything. So to get out of a state of inaction, always take action. Take this lightly, but if you have an intrusive thought, let me rephrase that. If you have a thought pop up in your head that's positive, like I want to do 10 push-ups right now, and follow through with that task. If you are planning to eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and get 5 eggs in and avocado, then hold yourself to that and actually get it done. Don't self-sabotage yourself and start delaying time back to get that meal in. Hold yourself to it and take action on what you said you're gonna do. All right, the fourth thing, and probably the most important thing you're gonna do on a journey of self-improvement or just trying to be a better man, and altogether this ties in with positive brainwashing, is just realize that all the information you see online or any type of new information you take in, take it with a grain of salt. Analyze that yourself first, try it out, and then try to adjust it based on what kind of results you're seeing. We try to break down everything that I just said, but everything you see online might not be true. Things that I've said a year ago, things that I've said 3-6 months ago might not be true to me right now because I actually follow through with that mindset of I used to go to the gym at 6 a.m. Although that's still a good thing for me, I ultimately didn't see that worked for me. So I switched my workout times. I adjusted it because I went through with the action and I made course corrections over time to align better with the man I want to become. So take new information in and test it for yourself. One of my favorite quotes is that good artists copy, but great artists steal. So what I mean by this, if there's some sort of method that's working, I'm not saying every method works online, but if there's something that's working out for someone else, try it out yourself. Give it a try yourself. Don't do word for word, bar for bar, but take that concept and adjust it, personalize it to yourself, because also understand it's not monkey see, monkey do. You're not a one size fits all for everybody on the internet. So model after someone else and then slightly adjust it to how you would like to do it. And the only way you can adjust it is actually following through with the action and playing it out. To tie that last point up, when you start to see yourself veering off course, things aren't really lining up, you're in a state, you're kind of going down in life, course correct yourself. Identify the variables in your life that are taking you downward on that downward path and start to course correct yourself back up. Because let me break this down in a little analogy that I like, and it explains it, resonates with me very well, and let me explain it to you. So when you're driving on a highway, right, the wheel is constantly moving back and forth. It's not a straight line. You're moving a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, constantly the whole way there. But the GPS says you're going straight. So why is that? You're constantly course correcting yourself back on course with staying in that lane. And sometimes you might take a big exit that takes you way off track. And then what you do is you find your way back to the highway and get back on track. So even the small adjustments, while you're in the straight line and the wheel is shaking back and forth, you adjust yourself back in place. And then you keep going to that GPS destination. So summarize that up to what you're doing with this journey, and it makes a lot of sense. Ultimately, last thing I want to leave you with is be hungry for more information. That's how you're going to positively brainwash yourself, because constantly taking new information, just realize knowledge isn't knowledge if it's not applied. And best advice I can give to you about that is don't just try to memorize the concept. Actually try to understand it. Take the time. Don't overload yourself with information, because I did do that. I constantly listen to podcasts over and over again. Like I would literally fall asleep to some audiobooks, which is good. When you're trying to positively brainwash yourself, do it, but also don't just let that information sink past. I do it so much to the point where it's placed in my subconscious mind and I'm understanding that concept just because I hear it so much. So actually take the time to understand the concepts instead of just trying to memorize it. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So boys, this video was a little bit different, but again, if you're new to my channel, I just document my self-development and share this information with y'all, because I just want to put out as much information as I can with y'all. So hopefully this helps some of y'all out. Let me know what you think in the comment section and share this with someone you think needs to hear it. But appreciate y'all watching up to this point. Follow me on IG. I post pretty much my daily life of everything I do from when I wake up to go to sleep. And yeah, boys, I will catch you in the next video. Peace.